Jerry. How are you doing today?
I'm good today. I noticed you changed the decor in your office. I like it a lot.
Well, thank you.
Where'd you get the stop sign? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm distracting you. So, yeah, I guess I'm okay.
How are things going?
They're a little bit better. It's still really stressful.
Mm-hmm.
I'm out there trying to find jobs. It's tough because you need to think about the kids, and if you get upset and they see it, I mean, they are kids, but they're still impressionable, and your moods can really influence the family. So I'm trying to stay on top of it. Day at a time, get out there, find a job. Don't put. I guess I just need to keep myself from putting so much emphasis on the need to find a job, and think about it more like I'm looking for one just because I am.
So more about the process.
Yeah, take my mind off of why I need the job and just focus on the process of doing it. And I think if I can focus my efforts that way, I found it's a little less stressful and a little less about the money and more about bettering myself. So I'm trying to frame it that way. Some days it works, some days it doesn't.
I think that's a really good standpoint to start from, and I think it will keep you going.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
So last time we were here, we talked a little bit about things you can do in your life to kind of keep hopes up and still feel like a productive part of the family. So you talked about helping your wife cook dinner more and being an important part in your daughter's life. How is that going?
It's going well. When I'm not working on the job search, I am taking my time just working around the house. I've gotten time. Money is short, so I haven't got a lot of time to go to the store and buy things for home improvement projects, but whatever scraps I have left over. I worked on patching up some stuff in the kitchen. Every little thing around the house I find that's broken, I've been trying to fix it just to keep myself busy, make things around the home clean. I clean the house every week so my wife doesn't have to, and dinner a couple nights a week. And it's nice I'm actually spending some time sitting down talking with my daughter about her homework a little bit more, so I'm feeling a lot more involved that way. I didn't get a chance to do that when I was employed full-time. It took away from it a lot. So I'm trying to look at the positive aspects, find some time that I can be more involved in my family's life because of it. I'm actually kind of wishing sometimes that I didn't have to go back to work and be the sole breadwinner, because it is rewarding to spend this much time with my family.
Good to hear. So it sounds like you're making a lot of progress and you're kind of back up on your feet. It seems like you're doing really well. So we had talked about meeting for a certain amount of sessions, and today would be our last one. So how does that make you feel to maybe have this be the end of our time together?
It's been helpful. I have good days and I have bad. This week was a good week. The week before wasn't so great. I kind of let it get to my head. I think I'm at a point where I could be happy, and I've gotten some tools to help myself work through it. I know there are going to be more tough weeks. It's not going to be continually uphill every day. I think I could be okay with it, but I'd also like to have the option open to come back if everything goes downhill again.
Well, it's definitely always an option. So it's important for you to know that I'm here. If you need to have the extra support, we can always schedule a meeting. But I think that you have identified the things in your life that are stressful for you or causing a little bit of anxiety or worry. And I think in our time together, you have learned how to realize that and then work on it. And I think it's important to focus on the things you've done. You are doing things in the house, you're getting a lot of support from your family, you're keeping a really optimistic viewpoint on things, so I think you have a lot of strengths to pull on. So tell me a little bit about how the interview process is going.
I had an interview about 2 weeks ago. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. It was a little upsetting because I'd spent a lot of time preparing for this job, you know, like going to the printers and getting all my resumes and cover letters made. It made me really hopeful building up to it, and then the fact that it fell through, it kind of led to one of my lower weeks so far. But I kind of took it as a learning experience. I figured out what didn't work about the interview and what wouldn't have worked out for that job for me, and instead of letting it get to me, I've tried to take it as a learning experience.
So when you got home after that interview that didn't end up working out, or I guess after you found out it didn't work out, what did you do?
I had about a day or two of frustration. I was pretty irritable towards my wife and the kids. I mean, they noticed, and my wife talked to me about it and said, you can't let yourself get beat down by this. It was one interview. You knew that the first one probably wasn't going to be it. And I've kind of taken that to heart, realizing it's trial and error. Not every job out there is going to be mine for the taking, and there's plenty of other people who are probably in my same situation fighting to find a job. I just hope someone else out there who really needed it got it.
Well, I think that's a very optimistic way to look at it. So, do you have any other interviews coming up?
I have one. I did a phone interview, and they gave me a call back and said they're interested in bringing me back. They're just going to let me know in about another week once the applicant pool closes. There's like a set period of time that they have openings for. So as soon as it closes, they told me they were going to give me a call back and let me know if they were going to have me come in for a final interview. So I'm hoping it works out, and while that isn't, I'm trying to put all my eggs in that basket. I'm still applying to other jobs. It's a decent company. It's one of the company I got laid off from. It's one of their competitors. So I'm hoping that might play to my advantage, where they're trying to get trade me over. That's a big thing in the industry, and I think it might benefit for me.
Good. So, if you do get a job, are you prepared to go back to work?
I think so. It'll be an interesting transition, because I've gotten so accustomed to being home and spending time with my wife and family. It's showed me how important that is to me, and going back to work it's a big transition. So I'm going to try and keep myself open to spending that much time with my family and being as involved, but I know I'm not going to be able to be as involved if I'm working full time. So it's a little stressful thinking about how I'm going to balance that. But right now, I think that's an afterthought, and I want to focus on finding a job now.
So, is there any other areas that you want, like, to work on, or like you want just a little bit extra support from me on before we kind of say goodbye to each other today?
Let me think for a second. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. I mean, like you said, I'm feeling pretty optimistic about things. I guess the first interview not working out, that rejection, it's tough to manage. I guess I'd like to talk about ways I can spin it. It's easy to look at it realistically and think about how it didn't work out, but the first couple of days after, it's still a blow. I mean, you put yourself into something that doesn't work out. I guess I'd like to just find ways to bounce back a little quicker from that.
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple different ways you can approach that, and I think it depends on what's comfortable for you, but I think going back to these things that you have strengths with, it's important to remind yourself of that, and kind of remind yourself that it's really difficult to find a job. I think that there's a lot of employed people right now, like you said earlier, how, like, you kind of told yourself, like, it's okay, like, someone else probably got this job that really needed it. So I think that there's ways you can just remind yourself. So in those moments when you're, like, feeling really great about things that are happening with your family, you always can take a moment afterwards and, like, write it down in a journal. Or you could always do, like, a list And so like when you're feeling really low, you can go and look at that journal and be like, remind yourself of what this time is teaching you about spending time with your daughter, or about like all of the opportunity to get more education, and just remind yourself that you're working in the right direction. That is something you could try.
I could try it, yeah. See if it works. No, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling a lot better than I did before. No, I think I've got all my ducks in a row. I'm just trying to shoot down those job opportunities.
Good. Well, I think that you are in a really good direction. I don't want you to ever forget like how much progress you've made, and I think that you are a really strong person who has turned this kind of devastating situation into an opportunity to get to know more about your family.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that you're all set. I think you're ready to take some of these strengths, and it seems like you're pretty close to finding a job. But if you ever feel the need for more support, don't be afraid to give me a call.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good day.